this full time.
Yeah.
So I was like, I stopped, and my lease was finna end too. I think my lease was ended in like March, and it was around February. So I just made the decision like, hey, I'm just gonna go all in with this and just do it full time.
Yeah.
I knew it would work, and it was like, you know, if I book a couple events, like I think it was like I did the math, it was like 3 or 4 big events, I could make the same that I was making when I was working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So that's what really made me just be like, man, I can grind and hustle and get 3 events a month, big events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how large of a party can you have?
Yeah, so when I first started, we had 200 headphones. Now we have 1,500 headphones. So I could do an event with 1,500 headphones.
Okay.
And we actually did an event one time. We had 3 events that was like 1,000 headphones, and the biggest event we did where we used all the headphones, we went to Norfolk State University. It's a HBCU, and they booked all the headphones, and they did it in their gym. And that was a crazy event.
Okay. So it sounds like you do a lot of colleges. What other types of parties have you done? And are there any parties you're like, I'm not trying to do that?
Well, if you know they're paying, I'll do anything. But we've done wedding. We did a wedding before. We did an art show at Magic City. That was kind of cool.
That sounds
We did a lot of birthday parties. We did a couple of silent listening parties with artists. So I got to meet some big time artists. That was cool. And just different clubs. A lot of clubs in Atlanta. We travel too. Like we've been to Detroit. We've been to Indiana. We've been to Maryland, Washington D.C., Denver. We did a couple of like big conferences. Like we did the NAACP conference like last year. So that was cool. Just doing big conferences and meeting different people all over the world and seeing different cities and meeting a lot of different people. That's why I kind of like what I do.
Yeah. And you said we. So I know you started by yourself when you quit. What has your team grown to?
Yeah. So it's actually it's me and then my other business partner Juan Moore. We do the headphones together. It's just me and him, and we're kind of like yin and yang. Like he's the person that likes to talk in the camera. I'm the person that like plans and likes to be behind the scenes a lot. So we kind of like work together, and we're fraternity brothers as well. So it works out. We haven't had any problems, and it's been great.
Fred?
Yeah, so what we started doing since COVID hit, we haven't been traveling as much because like our business is based on mass gatherings. So with COVID, you know, people aren't really doing big events anymore, like 500 people to 1,000. That's where we're really making our money on. We haven't been getting those. So what we started transitioning to is more of like doing more events instead of bigger events. So like we've been shipping out headphones. So what we started doing is before we wouldn't ship headphones, but now we ship headphones. So like if somebody wants to do a birthday party and they're in Indiana and they just want to get 50 headphones, before we wasn't shipping them, but now because of COVID we'll ship the headphones. And we've been getting by doing that. So instead of us being able to do like local stuff and stuff that's like, you know, a few hours away, now we can ship anywhere in the United States.
I like that. Very proactive. So I guess staying in that same vein, things changed a lot with COVID. How have you managed to keep yourself healthy, keep your guests and people that, you know, use your services healthy?
Okay. Well, when it first happened, I lost so much money on like events. I was kind of like down. I was in a bad place because it was just like I had so much stuff booked, and then, you know, when COVID hit, I'm thinking, you know, maybe this is just something that's gonna last for like, you know, 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it started becoming 4 months, then 5 months, then 6 months, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out something else to do. But we made it work, and we kind of like pivoted and, you know, made it work how we can, the best we can, and we're just waiting for COVID to go away so we can get business back to how it used to be. But as far as like when we started cleaning the headphones a lot better. I would say like before we just clean them one time, but now before the event after the event we take them home and clean them, and then before we use them again we clean them again just to make sure that they're double clean. That's probably one thing an extra step that we did. We just make sure we clean them twice instead of one time.
Dope. Cool. Well, what would you say your biggest advantages are as a business owner?
Yeah, so just having the freedom to really do whatever you want. Most of our events happen at night or during the day. We was doing a lot of schools and stuff like that, and the earliest, we'd have to work is maybe 8 o'clock if it was a school. But for the most part, we get booked for night events. So just having that flexibility to be able to do whatever you want to do is what's really the biggest advantage to being a business owner. Because, before when I was working at Verizon, it's like you had to ask, hey, can I go to, my niece's birthday party and stuff like that. But now, when you're a business owner, you don't have to ask anybody. You just put people in position to make sure the event goes well, and you can just pretty much do whatever you want. That's the biggest thing, just the freedom and the time that you have to be able to do whatever.
Yeah. So, just kind of going back a little bit, when you left Verizon and you went into your own thing, what were some of the things that I guess motivated you to do it? Like, what were the fears that you had that you overcame to kind of make this successful?
So like me, I'm a big risk taker. Like I'll go to the gamble everything and lose everything. Like I always been a risk taker. So for me, I wasn't really scared to really jump off the bridge to really just do my own thing, because at Verizon, I feel like I worked hard for them and made them a lot of money. And I was like, if I take that same effort and what I was doing there and apply that to my own business, I can't lose. I was like, I couldn't lose. So like when I was at Verizon, we had to call, like whenever we didn't have customers in the store, we had to do cold calling. So we would call customers and, have to try to sell them and try to get them to come into the stores. So I had experience calling people and trying to get business over the phone. So that I took that skill from doing that from Verizon and pretty much just applied that to my business and started doing that. And I still haven't really got to the point to where I'm working as hard as I was when I was working at Verizon, because, like there, you work 8 hours a day. Now I never work 8 hours in one day. I might work 3 or 4 hours. But I need to start, if I put that same energy that I had when I was working 8 hours and really worked 8 hours for this, like I probably would be a millionaire in like the next 2 or 3 years for sure.
That's dope.
Sure.
Let's see. So have you faced, or are there any challenges that you don't mind talking about that you faced as a small Black-owned business owner? And if there were any challenges, how have you overcome them?
Yeah, challenges, just trying to figure everything out. When you first start a business, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know. Like, for example, like just getting insurance for the headphones. It was real hard to get insurance for the headphones in case, like we have liability insurance, but I ran into a situation where I had liability insurance, and then after an event one night, somebody broke into my car and took headphones. And it was like a lot of them, like 400 headphones. So then I was like, what am I finna do? Like I thought I had insurance to cover this, but it didn't cover what was stolen that day. So it was like, just going through like growing pains like that. It's like when you're a first time business owner, it's like you gotta figure everything out on your own and kind of like go from there. That's probably like the biggest thing, is just figuring everything out.
So even with that, figuring things out, so after parties, what are like the next steps? So the party ends, so where do the headphones go? Is there like a designated person who will take them, clean them, or anything to avoid them being stolen, since someone's checking them out too?
So, it's easy when we're in town. Like when we're in Atlanta, we could just take them back to my house. But when we go out of town, like we stay in hotels, and then having to tote the headphones all the way into the room, and that's where it's kind of becomes an issue. Like I remember one time I was in Tennessee, and we had the headphones in the car, and somebody, like I walked outside for something, and somebody was in my car, like rummaging through my stuff, So it was like, it's just hard when you're on the road. That's be the hardest thing. But now I don't even take the risk. I just take the headphones in the hotel. Like I don't care how long it takes or how tired I am, because like a lot of the times, like we'll drive 10 to 12 hours, then we'll go to an event, then the event takes 4 hours, and then you just be tired. But then it's like after that situation happened, I was like, I can't even take that risk anymore, because it's not even worth the little 5 to 10 minutes that it takes to, put them in the hotel.
Yeah. So I guess lightening up the mood. What is your favorite party that you? Okay, I'm sure you have lots of fans. So what is your most memorable party?
Probably had to be the Norfolk event, because it was 1,500 headphones. That was just crazy seeing that in person. Just 1,500 people in a gym. Everybody had on like headphones. It was red, blue, and green, and just seeing that many people in an event was just amazing. I was just like, man, this is my event. Just looking out and just like, this is crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. That's when you realize like that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I love that. I think that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Man, that's nice. Well, even with this being like our first time, what does it look like watching all these people dancing and bobbing to all this different music?
In your
separate.
headphones.
Yeah, so a lot of the times I really be forgetting that they're like mine. Like, cause I come to the events and I'm never really working. I got people to work, so I'm just enjoying the event. It's like right now I feel like I really just get paid to party. Really, like I'm coming here, I get to skate, you know, make money, then I leave, and then I just pack up the headphones. So it really I don't never really just look at it as like it being my headphones and stuff until like people come up to me and tell me, hey, I had a great time at your event. That's when it kind of hits me like, oh yeah, this is my event. I be forgetting.
Now, if you had to say there's a motto or a value or a mantra that you use to keep yourself motivated, because now you're self-employed, so whether you fail, you know, succeed, it's all on you. What do you do or say to yourself to keep it going?
Well, I would say just the living life part. For me, I know that I probably never want to work a job again, just because the simple fact, like I have so much freedom now. Like I travel probably 4 or 5 times out the month. Like I just go places. Like I'll wake up and be like, hey, I want to go to Miami, or hey, I want to go to Costa Rica, or hey, I want to go to Houston. Like I just love to travel. So now that I'm just, you know, working for myself and I'm able to do this, and I see the freedom that people probably never, a lot of people never get in their life. Like I don't take it for granted, and I really realize that like I'm blessed and I'm really living life for real.
Last thing, where can people find you? How can they book your party?
Oh yeah. That's the most important.
All that.
Yeah. So we're on Instagram. It's Live Life Headphones. You can also go to our webpage, which is livelifeheadphones.com. Yeah, so if you want to book us, you can go to the website. We have a booking tab. We do all type of events. If there's something with music, you can replace the headphones. So we do everything: birthday parties, weddings, skate events, birthday parties. We pretty much do everything. So anything that has speakers, if you want to replace it with headphones, just to give, you know, people something different to see and participate in, just get at us.